I debated Billy Carson. You heard that right. This isn't clickbait. I actually debated Billy Carson. Let me tell you about it. So last week I got a message in my DMs from a podcast host saying he knew Billy and that Billy was going to be in his studio the next day and asked if I'd be willing to come in and discuss some of the things that Billy has said very publicly about Christianity. Now, this particular podcaster lives in Florida. I live in Toronto, Canada. So with less than 24 hours notice, I just wasn't able to be in studio. But I did say that I'd be more than willing to hop on a virtual call and interact with Billy that way. And for the record, I also made it clear that I didn't want this to come across as some sort of trap or gotcha. If Billy was willing to interact with me knowing who I was, that's great, but I said specifically that I did not want this to be some sort of ambush. I was assured that this was not the case. I was being invited, Billy was being notified of that, and that we would have a respectful and good faith discussion. And as far as I'm concerned, that is in fact what took place. Now, we only talked for a little over an hour, and if I'm honest, I really wished we would have talked about more. Billy had to leave after that hour. He was upfront about that at the beginning, so he wasn't running away or anything. He actually had to go, and he had prefaced the conversation with that. There were about a dozen things that Billy has said very confidently on very public platforms about Christianity that are just simply false. And I wanted to push him on those things. Credible scrutiny only helps to refine and sharpen the truth. I want to be shown where I'm wrong and where I say things that are incorrect. And I think as long as it's done with proper intentions in the right way, doing that with others shows respect for them too. In my personal opinion, the conversation did not go well for Billy though. He really didn't have much of a rebuttal to what I said. And that didn't mean he didn't talk a lot. He did. But when I asked him about his sources, about their credibility, he just kind of shrugged his shoulders. When he said, as he's done on some of the world's biggest online platforms, that the Sinai Bible denies the crucifixion, and I pulled a literal facsimile of the Sinai Bible off my bookshelf and asked him why he would say that when I can clearly open up the Greek text in the Gospels, in the Sinai Bible, and find the crucifixion. His response was that he misspoke, that he really meant to say the Gospel of Barnabas or the Gospel of Jesus' wife. When I walked through why the Gospel of Barnabas and the Gospel of Jesus' wife are known forgeries from the modern era, he didn't have any type of answer. Now, in the wake of the interview, Billy Carson has asked that the recording not be released. And in all honesty, I do get why. This is Billy's bread and butter. His career as a content creator and public figure, and his credibility as an online educator are influenced by the way he comes across and the integrity and reliability of the topics he discusses. If that is put under careful examination and its truthfulness is undermined, that has consequences for Billy. Now, I don't know if that recording will ever see the light of day. I hope it does, but I don't know. But let me say that I trust the podcast host whose channel this took place on, and it is entirely his decision to post or not to post the content. I respect that, even if I do in fact want the interaction to be public. It's his podcast on his channel, and he has the right to agree with Billy's request. The fact that Billy doesn't want it to be posted clearly communicates to me that he also didn't think it went very well. Let me just finish by saying this. Billy says a lot of out there stuff, but among it all are just patently false things about the Bible and Christianity. I've made a bunch of content addressing these things and what Billy has said, and in it all, I hope what those interactions and responses reflect is not a personal attack on Billy. I can separate Billy Carson from the ideas he espouses, and I think that should always be our tactic. I debated Billy Carson. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only person who ever has. Maybe I'm the only person who ever will. And whether that gets posted or not, I think the fact that Billy doesn't want it to be posted also tells you how well Billy thought the conversation went.